Hi there. I'm Joan Bateman, and this is Scott Cowan, and this is Terry Ann Boyer. We are collectively called Weed Over 40, and we are all co-founders and speakers and educators of Weed Over 40. This is our very first video that we're going to put together for you. We're hoping to do this on a much more regular basis, maybe weekly, and we're going to bring to you some really great information about the changing landscape of the cannabis community. And it's really changing fast. So you know what? I'm going to hand that over to you, Terry, because that's your kind of your whole thing. So let's. She's got this all going.
I don't really. She gives me more credit than I deserve.
Never.
But we're Weed Over 40. The 40 stands for we're in Canada. Yay, Timmy's! Timmy's! Right, little plug there. Right, so we're north of the 40th parallel, and I don't know whether it's obvious to our audience or not, but we're over the age of 42. No. Right. Maybe the gray hair was. Consequently, the point of making a point to the fact that we're over 40 is we've had a little bit of exposure to what marijuana was in the 70s, in the 60s, throughout the 80s and 90s, and marijuana is not the marijuana from our youth is not what we're dealing with here. It has changed completely, right? But before I get into how it's changed and what it looks like now, I'll let Scott speak a little bit about what we're hoping to do with our Weed Over 40.
Well, the whole thing is there's a lot of mystery, a lot of misconceptions about weed and cannabis and marijuana. I actually was just with my mom earlier today, and she was giving me the same story about our Prime Minister and legalizing of marijuana that she gave me when I was a teenager to try and keep me out of the, just say no to drugs scene.
A little reefer madness concept came into it.
It's a gateway drug, and we're all going to be addicted to heroin if we even so much as smell secondhand smoke.
Which is actually the total opposite. We're hoping that it will actually help the opiate condition of our landscape. But anyway.
Well, the whole thing is that we want to be the premier education facility and the go-to place when people all across our country are looking for the real truth on the cannabis industry. So that's what Weed Over 40 is all about, and we're going to be thrilled to bring you that solid information so that we can get rid of the stereotypes, all of the myths, and really get down to what will marijuana and medical marijuana in particular do for you and your health.
Right, and we also want to be able to look at what it's going to look like in the workplace, right? There's going to be quite a change in the landscape, I think, about using cannabis in the workplace.
And this is not about just getting a
No, this is not about Friday night and smoking a doobie and
recreational
eating chips,
drugs.
right?
No,
Yes. This is about adult responsible use.
Actually.
Microdosing, right? These are all terms that are going to be new to people, right?
Absolutely.
It's just it. There's so many terms that's what we're hoping to dispel is all of that scary stuff that makes everybody go, oh, that you got to stay away from that because nobody really understands it. But I mean, you got to look at the fact that, for instance, with tea, we all drink tea, right? Well, not all of us, but I know you're a teetotaler. I'm kind of a coffee person. But anyway, I mean, you can have raspberry leaf tea, and it's out there. You can buy it. And if you purchase it, it's actually something that's it can cause issues with pregnant women and stuff. But most people don't know that. People that are in their last trimester that want to give birth will to drink raspberry tea to kind of bring it on. I mean, teas have all kinds of medical properties that can cause issues for people. And the funny thing is that we look at marijuana like it's something different. It's an herb just like that. So we want to bring it down to that level so people can understand that it's not as scary as it is, or as it seems. Right?
That we've been culturally brainwashed to believe that it's
because of the legalism. And why has that been the case?
There's evidence to prove that the word marijuana has not been around forever. In the 1800s and before that, it's always been referred to as the cannabis plant.
Yeah.
If you find old medicine bottles for cough syrup, it will say cannabis cough syrup, indica 0.4%. We refer to it as the cannabis plant, right? Throughout history. And hemp, the hemp plant, which is a cannabis strain plant, It used to be used in our cattle feeding system and many other parts of our industries.
So in our food.
In our food. It was in our food
But
chain.
back in the 1930s, they got away with that.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want happy cows and so on.
Well, actually, they
Nobody
didn't want
wants
happy
happy cow.
people, right? And I don't know. So then they started using the word marijuana, and it started being used in a derogatory sense, right? And so
But Cheech and Chong would not agree.
no, I
But that's
suppose
the whole other thing.
That's a
what
different
we
story,
did grow
right?
up with. Is the big doobies, the guys smoking with, in a car with.
And
like,
this is one of the
pouring out.
mysteries and misconception myths that we
Exactly.
want to dispel here today and in the future. People need to realize just how beneficial the marijuana plant can be for a variety of different ailments, diseases, and this is the information that is so important that people begin to understand. This whole legalization process is not about just letting people have, recreational drug use capability. What we're talking about is narrowing down the particular strains of the plant that will
And the properties.
and the properties that we can identify, so that if you have a diabetic condition or a cancerous condition or epileptic condition, all of these things can be addressed.
That's a really good point.
And I'm
actually
just
want
going to make a little
make
segue
a
here,
comment here,
just
because we
one
talked about
second
this
about
before
that. We need to
started.
do a little housekeeping, right, and do the needed disclaimer. While we will be, the information that we're giving here
We're not
today,
doctors or lawyers.
there you go, right?
I am a nurse though, but that's not the point.
We're not here to diagnose or treat any condition. Any information that you glean from our podcasts is purely for informational use only, and we're in no way to be held responsible for you using cannabis to
And we have a kick-ass
For whatever
lawyer that will
reason.
drain you dry if you try and take advantage.
So a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. Anyways, back to where were we?
We
Cannabis
want to
is
share. We want to
used.
share. We want to share a lot of information, and we want to be able to do it candidly, and speak about things that we've heard, read, and things that you may have heard or read. But we can't promise you that we know everything and that we've done, all the research out there is to know, because cannabis has 400 different.
At least.
Like constituents that are
Hundreds
medically
and
viable
hundreds.
that they're at this point looking at. There's THC, THCV, CBD. There's all these different things that people have to learn about, and there's still so much research to be done because of the fact that it's legally been difficult for the research to be done. The money hasn't been there for that. So now it will be, and we are really rapidly changing our landscape. So I really want people to be able to get honest information, right? We want honest information.
getting
out there,
back to
but
my-
we don't want to be held legally responsible. So please
Yeah,
understand
especially that. My 85, almost 86-year-old mother, again, was working on the same tired old excuses. But the reason I brought this up with her is she has 3 degenerating discs in her back. She has constant back pain. And I was saying, Mom,
You should really try.
you could just try this as an alternative medication, because she doesn't like to take mountains of pills.
And she's been prescribed
And
mountains of
she's
pills.
been prescribed. We don't have enough time to tell you about all that. The problem is that there are just a plethora of stories that people will tell you of how smoking cannabis, and maybe not even the THC, but just on the hemp side and the hemp oils and so on, that have had tremendous medical benefits for these individuals. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a surgeon, I can't, and we don't have any FDA approval for all these things. The bottom line is, if you take it, sometimes it works.
The
And-
anecdotal evidence. I mean, that's why people have been using medical marijuana for forever, right? Is because the anecdotal evidence is there that it does work.
Absolutely.
It's just we don't have it from the FDA standpoint because we
exactly.
haven't been able to do the research because it's been illegal.
and my mom's feelings about this, kept me away from the illicit side of drugs all the time I was doing growing up. While all my friends were, smoking dope and doing other stuff, I never got into that. So I was the worst example of somebody, toward the end of their life in their, elderly years, to even try this.
And that's my story too, right? I came into this over the age of 50 for chronic pain condition, right?
Which
And
has it
doesn't
helped
look at
you?
all.
oh, and it has definitely helped me. That's why we're here, is because it's helped me.
And I
right?
have a-
But I had to get over the stigma. I had to work through the myths.
Yeah.
And when you went through getting over through this stigma, it was horrible for her because she was at the very beginning of the legalization, which was in 2016?
Yeah.
So I mean, when that first started and when she first got involved in it, saying I need something to give me relief, and she started researching it, there just really wasn't anything, was there?
No, but even that, just in the past 2 years, has grown immensely.
Right.
But because we're on this path of legalization and,
And on the cusp.
right, things are just, it changes by the hour.
And we will become the leading knowledgeable expert for the dissemination of this information.
That is
That's
what the
we're-
purpose of Weed Over 40 is.
And it is. And actually, what I want to say about what we're doing here is today is just kind of a get to know you session with us. And we are going to, put together some very informative days and very themed kind of days about what we talk about. But we just wanted you to get to know us a little bit, to understand that we are public speakers, and I'm a psychiatric nurse. Scott is in finance. You got the spaghetti brain, the Venus and Mars thing, the waffle brain, all that kind of thing going on. So we thought we'd have a token male in the group to help us with that, so that we
Yeah.
don't just all go ahead with the female attitude. Now, I'm sorry, that is just not the landscape as it is right now. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But
Women are from Venus, men are from Earth.
right.
That's-
But I mean, there is a lot to be said for the fact that we are planners, and men are, they just do stuff and they get it done. And as a
we
speaking
approach
team,
things differently.
Right.
That's all.
and that's not always the same, but I mean, on the whole, our brains work a little different. You got to admit that. And I have a psychiatric nursing background, so I worked with acute adult psychiatry for 15 years, and now I'm a photographer. So I've changed my landscape into what I do for a living, and I carry a lot of heavy equipment and things like that. So my hips and my neck and my back hurt a lot, and I'm thinking that maybe some of these could help me too. Will it help me? Will it be any good for me? Or is it only people that have like severe chronic pain? And we want to talk to you about those things. But
So those are things that are going to come up in
Right.
other sessions.
But I think people probably want to know why we are the choice to listen to on these podcasts, and why you would want to have us come into your businesses or your seminars and your conventions. And I can tell you, we're a pretty powerhouse team. So, right now we're just trying to be cash and get along and explain things, but you know what? We can definitely help anybody out there with putting together their seminars, workshops for the people that are interested in this information.
Well, the thing is, people change when they have enough pain, and that's really just the way things are in life. Until things get uncomfortable enough,
Yeah.
we don't change. Well, we're going to be talking to you sometimes about some uncomfortable things, but we're also going to be offering some really cool solutions. So stay tuned.
that's it from us, I think, for today.
Thanks a lot. Join in with us again, and we're going to have some checklists, some free offers, some things that we're going to be able to send you out if you have information that we can send you out when you follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Weed Over 40 as well. We also have Instagram at Weed Over 40 and Facebook. So please, if you want to get a hold of us, feel free, and we'll be happy to answer any questions.
And most importantly, if your company has discretionary funds for speakers, we want that money.
The finance guy.
There you go.
See you later.